Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So what are we looking at with the ETH chart? We are currently in the midst of the support area. So at the moment, nothing unusual is happening, not on the daily time frame. On the smallest time frame, we haven't really seen a healthy B wave. So there is just something to take note of because it's not ideal. So we're going to talk about that. I just want to take you through the different scenarios here on the ETH chart. Just want to share with you what we're dealing with before we dive into the microstructures. I think we haven't really looked at the daily chart in detail in a while. So my preferred scenario is still here the white count because we're holding above micro support here between 2,975 and 3,520. That was the support area that we expected the price to get into. And I mentioned to you already, well, a week ago, that the ideal target for the fourth wave will be 3,200, $7, so 3,200. That's the 38.2 retracement, and that is typically an ideal target for a fourth wave. Well, we have arrived there, and it's therefore worth recalibrating, taking a step back, looking at where we are. Do we see an impulsive reaction to the upside or not? At the moment, I don't. So that means we have to expect further downside, and the next support is at 2,975. So this is what we're dealing with. This wave 4 correction currently. At the moment, support is holding, but the downside pressure is quite high. Now, that's not unusual in crypto. I know everybody gets bearish when we see red candles, but I've seen it many times that they turn around at an instant. So where are we in terms of the daily RSI? Well, we are already very, very low. We're not oversold yet, but we're in a region in which in January the price turned. So just be aware of that, yeah? I mean, usually the best times to really buy is when the daily RSI is oversold. If that's coupled with Fibonacci support, even better. I'm thinking if we go oversold, we have broken micro support. And that's why we need to think about, okay, what could be alternative scenarios? Now, I'm not telling you we get oversold. I'm not telling you we break support. But obviously, we're in a correction. We haven't seen any impulsive reaction to the upside yet, so it's worth exploring alternative pathways. Now, there are alternative counts, but in the preferred scenario, we have a 1-2-1-2 setup. We're now in this sort of third wave to the upside, then a fourth would come, a fifth wave, and we should get to 8 to 12K without deep pullbacks. Now, you might argue this is now a deep pullback. Well, everything that doesn't go below the 50% fib level, I don't really call it deep pullback. So yeah, I mean, it's just crypto pullback, okay? It shouldn't be a surprise that the pullback is sharp. I explained that in one of the last videos because the wave 2 correction was sideways. According to the guideline of alternation, the wave 4 should then be sharp. So that is all okay, okay? That's all okay. Still though, I know it's the first time now in a while that we take some heat here in the market. It's just worth knowing, okay, what are the potentials if 2,975 breaks, because we're not too far away. Ideally, I'd like to see a reaction in this region. Well, it is possible that we're dealing with this triangle that I also introduced to you on the Bitcoin chart. And this would just be a scenario which, well, would frustrate a lot of people, and it would lead really to a deep pullback. Not necessarily down that much, right? But the idea would be that this wave 4 that we ideally finished in June 22 never finished, and that we're actually dealing with this A wave, B wave, C wave, D wave, E wave, and then we go up. That could take a while. And that is something that wouldn't be good for altcoins. And it is something that is worth being aware of, right? I'm not telling you this will happen, but it's a potential that you should know about if you have your money in ETH. That's one scenario. Now, you might ask, okay, where could the price then drop to in this scenario? We might be dealing with, I mean, let me just double check that. There are some targets for C waves that we can use. So I would say it should not drop below 1550. Okay, shouldn't drop below 1550. But we'll see. I mean, it's not even, we don't even have any confirmation that this is what's playing out. There is another scenario which would be a larger diagonal pattern in which we had an ABC structure to the upside here. ABC in blue wave 1, then this was a blue wave 2. This was ABC in blue wave 3. We are now in blue wave 4 and then blue wave 5. And in this scenario, we could get a little bit more of a deeper pullback. But the third wasn't really long enough, okay? The third wasn't really long enough. In a diagonal, I'd like to see the third wave get at least to the 1.236 extension. It didn't do that. So the blue count actually would need another high. So I'm not too happy about that, okay? So even in the blue count, I like to see one more high before we get into the next deeper correction. But we'll see. I will work on some alternatives today, but for now we are not even below support. Okay, so just want to share that with you because you need to know what's happening if initial support breaks, and then obviously we have structural support in this region down here. If we add the VRVP volume profile, you see that there is plenty of historical volume. So there's going to be support around 2,280. So in that region down there, structural support, and then especially down here around 1650. Now, what did I just say about 1550, right? Triangle, okay? So honestly, if we see the price come down into that region, that would confirm the triangle thesis. Just something to be aware about. Okay, now let's go to the shorter time frame. The only thing that makes me wonder, what's going on here is obviously this B wave was extremely shallow. I mean, it reacted to the 38.2 fib level, but it didn't even get to the 50% fib level, so extremely shallow. But then again, I highlighted it probably is a sharp correction, right? Micro count, I mean, this could have been an A wave in 5. This could be the B wave here. And this is the C wave down. It's also possible to call it a WXY structure. Yeah, I mean, it could be finished at any point, right? If it's, for example, A, B, C in wave W, X, and then this is a Y wave. And it's arrived at the ideal target for a fourth wave. It could be done, at any point. It doesn't look quite finished, so might go a little lower, but yeah, the thing is, that's potential. I need to see a first 5-wave move up and a 3-wave move down. But you see how relevant these fib levels are. It reacted to the ideal target of a fourth wave. So I keep you updated. First indication or evidence that a low is in would be a break above the last high at 3,550. That's my update about ETH. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.